So a question that a lot of people ask is how he came up with the name Wise Jennings.
Wise Jennings. Yes.
By the way, that's a pretty good looking drum head.
Yeah. Not too. If I should sit on that, I might break it.
What?
Well, when we first started out, we went by the name Mama Tried, which was cute, but it just didn't really suit us. We didn't do Grateful Dead songs, and we didn't do old time country songs. Like it was just wasn't for us. So we decided. Actually, we worked on our first album, and we decided that we would change our name. Wise Jennings was one of them. It kind of means a couple different things. So Wise is kind of a play on our name. So Weisar, Wise. Mm-hmm. Jennings is actually my maiden name. So I grew up a Jennings. But then in addition to that, my father passed away a few years ago unexpectedly. And he was the type of guy that just self-proclaimed expert at everything, I guess you could say. And he always had these fantastical stories about all these amazing and wonderful things that he's done that were completely ridiculous. For example, I think he told Jeff this story probably 20 times about how he wasn't even in the band, but he could blow a trumpet longer than anybody else on one breath.
Yeah.
He also would brag about how he was so fast a runner, but that not just running forward, that he could run faster backwards, barefoot, than most people could run forwards. So, yeah, ridiculous stuff like that. And he was dead serious. I mean, this is the funny thing. And he would always be the one that would tell me that I get all of my talent from him. Nothing came from my mother. So we joked as we were choosing this name that it just fit really well because it's an homage to him because he was the wisest Jennings that ever lived. Or so he would tell you. If he was around today, he would be proclaiming to everybody that all of my skill came from him. So
Another question that people ask us is how we met each other, how long ago we got started in music, how we ended up doing what we're doing now. And I think people are surprised when they hear what the story is, because it's kind of a cool story.
Yeah. Go ahead.
We met when I was playing keyboards in a northern Wisconsin band. It was HGT. It was a bunch of music teachers, and I was a music teacher at the time. And Jim Worth, who was the band leader, brought you to the Wisconsin State Fair in Chippewa Falls to sing some songs. What most people don't realize is it's not just easy to stand up and sing and just jump in with the band. And I'll never forget, you came in with, I don't know, maybe a couple songs that you were going to do. Jim had seen you singing karaoke somewhere, which used to be your favorite pastime.
Yeah.
Next to volleyball,
Love
right?
karaoke, yeah.
In fact, if there was ever a picture of Melissa singing karaoke, it would be a Bud Light in one hand and a microphone in the other hand. That was her thing.
I think I have a picture.
But you've switched over to PBR since
yeah.
then. Anyway,
Yeah.
Melissa got up and started singing, and you didn't do just your songs. You did everything. I mean, I could not believe how good you were. You filled in with harmonies. You sang lead on things you had never done with us before. And since then, I've referred to you as the gamer, have I not?
Yeah.
You're like, if it's a big time, you're ready to roll. But that's how we started out. That's how we met each other. And one of the things that we did at the time is we played some standards from the 40s and the 50s, where I played piano, and we sang together. And our voices blended beautifully right off the bat.
Yeah.
That was,
Yeah, those were always my favorite songs to do. Were the
Yeah.
ones that we could, where the harmonies were really prominent, and it was fun.
but then I moved to Chicago in 2002, and you were still in northern Wisconsin, and long story short, you moved down, and then we played with the band for a couple years after that, but we stopped doing that. You know, we were both, I was trying to finish school, graduate school. You were trying to get your career on track, and we just stopped doing it. And we stopped when we were pregnant with Aaron,
Yeah.
like in 06. 2006 was the last time we had played any music, and when we stopped, I mean, we stopped. We didn't do anything. Oh man, we moved like 10 times in 12 years. Had all kinds of insane financial problems, and I mean, it was those are tough years.
Yeah.
Then we had Ryan in 2010, and I mean, believe me when I say that we didn't do anything. I mean, we had no inkling to do music. We moved to Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. That was a big move for us.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what got our juices going with music?
Yeah, well, we were at the East Troy Bluegrass Festival, and I'm trying to remember, because we moved here 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out, like, if we were at that festival that year, or it was the following summer, like 20.
It would have had to have been the following year, because we
Following.
moved here in November. So we were here for that harsh winter.
Right.
And it would have been 2015, right?
Yeah. So 2015, we were at the East Troy Bluegrass Festival. I think we were kind of like just watching all these people get up and perform, and that were all right. Some of them weren't all right, like but they're playing for this festival. We're like, wow. And I think we looked at each other and we're like, you know, maybe we should think about doing music again, like that.
It really took a push for us to, so we had the idea to start doing music, right? And we were kicking around different ideas, but we really didn't know what to do. Now, 16 maybe, the summer of 2016, yeah. And we decided, well, we've gotta go play out in public. And we decided, okay, let's look for some open mics. The first one we did, do you remember what it was? I do.
Pier 290?
Pier 290. Do you remember the songs we did?
No.
Crazy Eyes
Oh, Crazy Eyes.
by Old Crow. Did we do another song?
Did we do Birmingham?
Probably did Birmingham by Shovels and Rope. Oh my God, how nervous were we?
Well, and like, you were like, I'm not doing open mics.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's not for us.
Yeah.
We're so like,
Well,
against it. And
well,
then,
I had been through all of this in my 20s, and I had played open mics, and you know, I felt like I had gotten past open mics as far as a vehicle for playing
Right.
gigs.
Mhm.
Anyway, but it was nerve-wracking,
Yeah, it was.
right?
Yeah, I think we've got pictures from that.
Yeah.
From that,
It was
too.
so nerve-wracking. And then just from there, we started playing at Rugen's in Burlington, and you know, as I look back, the funny thing is how hard it was to get gigs.
Oh God.
My God, like,
It's horrible.
so when we started thinking, okay, well, we got to find places to play. One of the places that's like 5 minutes from our house is this little pub/restaurant on the outskirts of Lake Geneva, and you know, the nice bar, but a really super tiny performance space. We went and saw a solo act perform there, and you know, we kind of like, yeah, this would be okay. I mean, you know, it wouldn't be at the top of our list of places to play, but yeah, we'd do it. Do you think we could even get a date there. I mean, we basically had to know somebody who knew somebody who talked to somebody who got us into this place that, you know,
Yeah, I mean,
and
we
that's
really had a hard time. I mean, you know, in Lake Geneva, um, which is our hometown, I mean, even to this day, there are places that if I were to reach out to some places around here, they would never contact me back. Even considering everything that we've done up until this point, or you know where we've played and 3 albums, and you know, we still would not necessarily be welcomed at some places, and I think it's just because we're of what we do. You know, we're original musicians. It's not a good fit for a lot of the places around here, which is totally fine. I have no
yeah, there's a place for
there's
everybody.
there's a place for everybody, and it's just not a fit for us. So people, it's funny because people will ask like, when are we playing in the area, and we honestly, we rarely ever, very rarely, which is kind of funny if you think about it. Like, this is where we live, but where most of our time is spent traveling to different places, which is, you know, which is kind of cool. There are a few places we really like to play around here that we'll always go to if we can, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
But
So, we had this other fateful moment in our development as a band. You know, it was, in my estimation, way more effort than what it was worth. Going out to bars, having people, you know, request songs that you don't know, playing songs that you hope that they know, and I just said to Melissa, I said, you know, I don't know, I'm ready to ditch this.
we should write our own music.
And I said, we're not going to do that because it's going to suck.